Hello everyone, I am Simranjeet Maan, and this year's UPSC Prelims result was one of the most shocking ones. Hundreds of students who were scoring above 85, 88, 92, 95 and some even scoring above 97 could not find their names in the result PDF. If you see on the screen behind me, you can see students scoring up to 108. One student even scoring 145 in GS. And these students were not like they were on margin in CSAT. They were clearing CSAT by 10 marks, 20 marks, 25 marks. Some students were consistently scoring 97 and above in multiple keys. One student has also mentioned the keys from he matched his answers. So what happened? Let us see. Now this student was scoring 108 in GS and 85 in CSAT. Still not clearing. This student 145 in GS, a very excellent score. Something that is almost very difficult to achieve. And she was not like she was failing in CSAT. She was comfortable in CSAT. This student who cleared 2023 by 15 marks above the GS1 cutoff and was getting almost 98, 95.33, 92.66 and 90 from renowned answer keys, did not find his name in the PDF. And this student who was scoring above 97 from 4 keys. And what was more surprising was that what he's saying that his friends who were scoring around 70 are now going to write mains, and he who was scoring 97, he or she who was scoring 97 did not find his name in the PDF, his or her name in the PDF. Now what does this tells us? First of all, it is not completely but partially UPSC's fault. UPSC must be not so opaque. Why? Because students should have clarity. They deserve this much clarity. What is the cutoff this year? Which answers or questions were dropped this year? What was the answer key? UPSC should not wait for 1 year for just to give an answer key. All the state PCS give answer keys. Almost all the state PCS give their answer key with the result only. At least they give the cutoff, so that students have a clarity where did they go wrong. Now we have a lot of to learn from all this, because this cannot be changed. It doesn't matter how much we try. Even if we go to Supreme Court, UPSC will not change its stand. UPSC will simply say that this is a standard procedure they follow. They have experts to do that, and Supreme Court or even High Courts will just gently admit that submission. Okay, so rather than thinking too much about it, we just need to understand that we are not alone in this. There were students who were in the same boat as us, and they were also not able to clear. But what learnings we should take from here, that is more important. Because those who have been unfortunate this year will be appearing in 2026. And students who will be appearing in 2026 and 2027 for the first time must understand that UPSC has now changed. There are a number of changes in UPSC, which I will discuss now, which you must be ready with, the points which you must keep in mind if you want to be in this race next year, because a lot of things have changed in the last 2 years. The first and foremost is RCs. CSAT RCs are a trap. RCs means reading comprehension. Now why I'm saying that RCs are a trap? Because it is a very subjective domain. Even UPSC does not know the exact answer of reading comprehensions. So what students are doing this, they are relying too much on reading comprehensions, which we should avoid. I know it is very easy to say this, because maths that is given by UPSC is also not very easy, especially for students who are coming for humanities background. But again I said, this is something we cannot change, but we can amend our ways. We can think the way UPSC is now thinking. Okay, so what is the solution? The solution is we need to reduce our reliability on reading comprehensions. 2/3 of the questions or 3/4 of the questions that we attempt, at least 2/3 of the question that we attempt must be from maths and logical reasoning, because in maths there is very little chance that once we have got the answer, it will be wrong. Definitely there is also a chance there, but much less than the reading comprehension. Okay, so reading comprehension is a trap now. Next is answer keys give false hopes. Why I am saying this, that answer keys give false hope? Because this year one thing that was clearly visible was that people came with a number of innovations. What were those innovations? Now students did not have to match their answer keys physically. They just had to put their marks in one software and all the answer keys were matched automatically. Now what the issue here was, they did not know what or which questions, due to which questions there was so much difference. There were students who were scoring as low as 78 and as high as 97 from some keys. So this created a lot of confusion. This should not have happened, because earlier there were only 2-3 keys which were considered reliable. Now everybody comes with their answer keys, everybody comes with their this cutoffs, and students are just left to scrambling that this is my marks, this is my marks, which marks are the correct marks, which marks should be considered as correct marks. Not only this, this creates undue mental pressure, even financial pressure also. Sometimes students buy courses before prelims and after that they regret. But I don't think if they have bought a mains course, they should regret, because in any case they must continue with their mains preparation. But definitely we feel cheated, I won't deny that. Next thing you need to understand that every year is now different. Why? Because if you see the trend, in 2016 the cutoff was 116. Okay, after that the cutoff started declining. It reduced to 107 something in 2017. Then in 2018 it was 98. Then again in 2019 I think it was 98, then something 95 or 93. Then it went down as low as 75 something in 2023 because of a difficult CSAT. Now if you see from the last 2 years, it is rising again. So what one mistake we are doing is, we consider the last year cutoffs as the standard, and from there we start our preparation, that this much marks I have to get. Last year the cutoff was 87, so I have to just get 90, 92 to clear the prelims. Now issue is, since the cutoff is increasing every year, so students do not get a real idea of how much they should prepare, how many questions they must attempt, how much they must leave, and what should be the margin they must keep. Okay, now but there are solutions to this. Though not easy, but believe me, sorry, this will be the trend. In future also this will be the trend. The simple thing we have to do is, we don't have to rely on UPSC. Okay, we have to start our preparation from zero, and what we have to target is the last year's, not CSC cutoff, the Indian forest cutoff. That should be our target. Those students who are hoping to clear forest, unfortunately some of them were from that area also, who were not able to clear even CSC, but still IFS cutoff is safer. I'm not saying it is easy to do. IFS cutoff is almost 11-12 marks from the CSC cutoff. I'm not saying it is easy, but also it is not easy to let go of the 1 year that we wasted. Some students had their 5th, 6th, 7th attempt, and it is really disheartening to see them getting failed in the prelims itself. Some students who gave interview last year, who have been clearing prelims consistently, also could not find their name in the list. So simple in saying, but a little difficult to implement, but still we must focus on the IFS cutoff for the next year. Okay, next thing is, do not depend on 2-3 subjects. Now what is the issue here? UPSC every year is changing its trend. Last year history was so much difficult, there were very less number of questions from modern history, but this time modern history was asked a lot more than last year, and the history part was relatively easier also. Okay, so you cannot depend on 2-3 subjects, because if once you are relying on 2-3 subjects to clear prelims, and those 2 subjects out of those 3 subjects appear, or the questions from those 2 subjects come to be difficult in the prelims exam, then again you will face issues. Okay, you need to understand this. You cannot rely on just 2-3 subjects while preparing for your UPSC prelims. 2026 appearing students, please be ready with all these things. Okay, question types are varying here. Now this is a very, very important thing. I think it is not unfair, but still it is a problematic area. Why? Because UPSC, every year are trying to bring different type of questions. First, it brought only 1, only 2, only 3. Then it brought this 3 column. Now this time the statement questions were much more than the last time. Okay. Now this next year also UPSC can bring something else, or it can bring back only 1, only 2, only 3. So every year UPSC is changing. So you must be, again I am saying, here you cannot predict UPSC, but you can prepare yourself in such a way that you target Indian forest cutoff. I know, again I'm repeating, it is not easy to do. Okay, but that is the only thing if we have to save our precious youth. Because believe me, I failed in prelims once, that was my first prelims, and it was not a very, very good feeling. For the 1 month, and at that time, results used to take 30 to 40 days. I don't remember exactly, it was 38 days or 32 days, but that much time it took. And in that time, if think about that much, that 30 to 40 days, you devote yourself to mains, thinking that you are clearing prelims, and then you have to get that into that, sink that feeling that, oh, I didn't clear prelims, now what is going to happen? I started preparing for mains. You don't know what is going, what went wrong. You have to wait 1 year. So all these things make difficult situation for us. And in order to avoid, only thing at this moment I can suggest is targeting Indian forest cutoff. Okay. Now there are 2 other issues which we must address. One is very important issues, that current affairs are getting really, really fractured. This year, let me give you an example. One question was on the aircraft types. They're asking which aircraft is this and what is its type. It is a very, very factual question. It is not easy to recall that much information in the exam hall. Okay, so the learning that we get from here is we must focus on factual part in current affairs. Because why I'm saying this is, because when UPSC tries to make a conceptual question, it almost every time ends up making it a very vague question. Okay, you cannot rely on that. And these vague questions, this is the last point, are the reason why cutoff varies so much. Why we are not able to find ourselves in the PDF list. Just like reading comprehension, the vague questions, and even if the questions are vague, UPSC itself does not know the real answer. Like this time, they were saying that Prime Minister is the one on whose behalf, or on whose behalf the Finance Minister presents the budget in the Parliament. Now it is very, very clear that it is not Prime Minister, it is President, but still they are giving the answer. Another area is where UPSC is trying to, being clever, where they are trying that in the science and technology section, they are not giving D as the answer, all of the above. Again, now here what happens is UPSC is trying to do something that is not applicable to subjective questions. Okay, you cannot be too much tricky, you cannot use too much tricky language in subjective questions, means language questions. If it was maths or physics, you can do it. Okay, now when UPSC tries to do that, what it does, it messes up the whole question. And who has to pay the price? Students. So in that case, what I am suggesting is, please do not be afraid of learning facts. From now on itself, make sure whenever you are reading any topic, for prelims part, you must learn the facts also from that question. Facts means something that is plain yes or no, right or wrong, because there you will have a surety that yes, I marked it correct, it is correctly given everywhere, you are through. Okay, now all these things which I said, I know these are not simple things, but still if we have to make sure that we write mains next year, because believe me, it is not, again I'm saying, it is not a very good feeling to fail in prelims. Prelims is getting very, very unpredictable. The cutoff is rising again. UPSC is dropping questions. Reading comprehensions are not so, objective. There are too many variations in them. The answer keys, they are not so much reliable. Cutoff predicted by various people, coachings, etc. They are also not reliable. So we must depend on ourselves, and we should not rely too much on any external factor, not even UPSC. And for that, we just need to make sure we focus on our current affairs, we focus on the factual part, we set our targets high so that next time we are not left in such disbelief. Okay, so this was from all from my side. I know it is difficult to get over these feelings, but believe me, 7-8 days, take some rest, relax yourself, and then come back even stronger. Nothing is difficult. There were students who were failing in prelims for multiple times, and when they got the chance to write mains, they were able to clear the whole process in one time itself. They got rank, some even got rank 1 in past years after repeated prelims failures. Okay, so continue with your mains preparation after a short break of 6 to 7 days. Do not worry about anything else. Do not get into unproductive things like court cases, etc. Again, I am saying UPSC is a very, very strict and very opaque institution, and it is not going to change its stand. It is unfortunate, but it is true. Okay, take care and all the best.